Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 2nd to the 8th of May 2022. So we begin the week with Mercury having moved into Gemini, and we're in the first phase now of the coming Mercury retrograde. So from now until the 10th of May we're in the awareness phase, and this will bring to an end a whole way of thinking. That's the backdrop for this one, because often if we're not perceiving something right, then all our thoughts and actions and behaviours, no matter how well intended, are off point and off key. So things will be coming up now until the 10th of May when Mercury turns retrograde to give us a hint of where we're out of alignment. And Gemini is very childlike and curious, quite funny and quirky. So keep your ears and eyes open for hints, signs and symbols showing you that things are actually different to how you're perceiving them. Mercury retrograde in Gemini is a very positive aspect. Mercury rules Gemini, and as I've said before, this is our power to change our mind. We're living in an information age, and a lot of information is delivered as fact, but much of that information can have an agenda behind it, pushing people into a belief system in order to control the way they act. But with an independent mind, and with our senses heightened, we can feel for ourselves what's true, what's right, what's wrong, what possibly is the agenda behind what we're being told. And then by collecting information and remaining impartial, we can make our own minds up. And that's a big part of being a sovereign individual. So Mercury will retrograde back into Taurus, and the degrees for anybody that's following along closely, we're going to go from 4 degrees Gemini back to 26 degrees Taurus and direct again. So if you have any personal planets between those signs or making strong aspects, then you'll be able to hone into your personal story of this, as all planetary aspects affect us all, but in different ways according to our own unique birth charts. So the awareness phase, inquisitive, humorous, flexible, perceptive, until the 10th next week when we'll actually be in the retrograde phase, which I know many people dread, but that's only really because you've been told to. So that's even an example of how information can be delivered and make us feel and act a certain way. But how many people have told you that Mercury retrograde is actually a good thing, and your chance to tone and tune yourself back into alignment. We also begin the week with Venus moving into Aries. So Venus has recently been making contacts with Neptune and Jupiter, finishing off the job in Pisces, and she's now stepped over into the Aries energy, and we're starting to feel a bright, sparky, creative, independent weather front come in after a good few weeks of swimming in very deep Piscean, spiritual, emotional, intuitive waters. So for the next few weeks we can really harness our passion, our excitement, our creativity, and this is where we centre ourselves going forwards. If we made all our plans from excitement, then we're never going to go off our soul plan. We're never going to find ourselves in places that we didn't want to be. Whereas when we make our choices and decisions and plans from the head, there's often a pre-program running of I should do this or I have to do that, and we can end up somewhere limited and miserable as a result. So a rebirth for Venus after tuning us into our heart in the deep waters of Pisces. We're now coming out onto the shore, centred and focused, and leading with passion and independence. Mars is the only personal planet left in Pisces now, and Mars will be making connections to Neptune before this whole soul retrieval, really, aspect is over, at those last degrees of Pisces, really helping us come home to self and setting the groundwork for where we place our energy in the years to come. The biggest day of the week, though, will be the 5th, when the Sun meets with Uranus, and this is in Taurus. So we currently have the Sun passing through the very steady and sensual sign of Taurus. It's a nice, slow and productive energy as we grow with the spring flowers and appreciate the warmth of the Sun's rays. So we're starting to make plans, we're starting to step forwards, we're starting to be productive, but hopefully that's coming from a much more soulful place now. But as Uranus meets with the Sun, then Uranus has been in Taurus for a while, and I've spoken about deconditioning the emotions of the heart, because in the age of Aquarius we need to be compassionately detached, unaffected by emotional programming and conditioning, and free to express ourselves in our unique way. So when the Sun and Uranus meet, that will fire that feeling up inside of us on Thursday. So be open to receive heart inspiration, flashes of brilliance, sense of strength and liberation, sense of purpose really, who you are and why you really came here, what you're creating, where it's coming from, what is the meaning of it. So life purpose and soul expression would be a good meditation as these two mighty planets meet and fire us up from our very heartbeat outwards. So if you'd like to see where this is happening for you, I am available. Please email zoehind7@gmail.com, and I'm very happy to create something custom just for you. It can be chart reading, learning your chart, learning astrology, tarot, numerology and more, or coaching sessions to help remove the blocks and see clearly and align ourselves in these incredible times. I have these and more videos on my YouTube channel zoeastro, and I post links on my Facebook @astrozoe and Instagram @zoehind7. So really quite a sparky week with Venus in Aries, Uranus meeting the Sun, and Mercury in Gemini getting ready to retrograde. The pace picks up. We've learned how to be centered and soulful, and now as long as we can follow our intuition and come from a place of our unique purpose, then we can start to step forwards and put certain things into action that will lead to great rewards. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week.